Well, let's talk Houston Rockets from Wednesday night. We didn't get a chance to cover it. Terrible opening night for the Houston Rockets. They went down to Orlando. Orlando was sitting there waiting on them. They sped off and left them behind. The physicality wasn't there for the Houston Rockets. They got bumped around, outmatched, low energy, turning the ball over, which got them in the hole right from tip ball. This team cannot play from behind. This is not going to be a great formula for them this year. If they play from behind, they're going to lose most of those games. Now, they came back in the ball game, I think it was third quarter. After halftime, they sped it up a little bit, played a little more physical. It looked like they were organized to get themselves back in the game, just for Orlando to sprint off again and leave them. To lose by 30 points in opening night, that's something that shouldn't happen for us. The energy level should have been up. Houston Rockets, they come with the energy level for this ball game. Seems like you'll be a little pumped and you'll be a little excited about playing the first game of the season, but you went down there in Orlando and they threw and bumped you all over the court. You couldn't really execute anything on offense. Now Şengün, which is the guy we're going to have, let me put it up here, spotlighted on the box sheet. He was the only highlight really of that night for scoring. Now Dillon Brooks showed a little flashes here and there, hitting some big threes. But the guys who's supposed to show up, which is Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, they came out to a slow start. It seemed like everybody was a little nervous. Shots wasn't going. They weren't getting back on defense. They weren't bodying up people. They hit them in the mouth, Orlando Magic, and the Rockets couldn't recover. They were staggering the whole game, and I was surprised that they got back in this game late. I think they cut, I think it was like 62 to 65. That's when you need to bear down and say, okay, we screwed up the whole first half. Now we're back in the game. Let's see what we can do. But that didn't happen. They fumbled the ball again. And next thing you know, it's a double-digit lead, and they just skyrocketed and they just left. So it's a shocker for the opener for the Houston Rockets. Didn't expect that. This team is going to have to play, we always say, with their hair on fire every game, not only to win a game, but to stay into a ball game. If they cannot play like crazy, for its energy level and intensity, that shouldn't be a problem for the Houston Rockets in any game. And if they come out slacking with energy, they won't have a chance to win any ball game with low energy. This team, you want to say they're talented enough, but I don't think they can afford the right to come out there lackluster in any ball game and think they can just turn it on second half. It's going to be too late by then. Yeah, we got some young talent, but the key word is young. They're not experienced. They're not seasoned yet. So you can't go out there half-assing and then expect to win a ball game late. It's not going to happen with a lot of these teams. And Orlando, they're young themselves. But I tell you what, they feel like they know themselves. They more together as a unit. They have more chemistry. And they hit them in the mouth. They didn't respect Houston coming in Orlando at all. They looked at them as a team that's been losing for 3 seasons, not experienced, and they just wanted to make a statement and go out there and say, hey, we're going to get rid of these guys and get them out of here. And they took it as a challenge. So it was very frustrating watching this game with the Houston Rockets. You didn't think they would come out with low energy in the first game. You thought it would be a tight game, could go down the stretch, something you can pull out in the end. But to be decided so early and then the tease to come back in the game just for them to sprint back off and leave you, wasn't nothing you wanted to see or deal with, if you was a Rockets fan. But like I say, all-star loss is a long season. This is only game number 1. There's a lot of jitters going out there Wednesday night. Especially from the rookies, trying to get the feel of the game, going too fast, getting the ball knocked out of their hands, things like that. And they just got caught. It's plain and simple. They just got caught on this game 1. Now, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier because tonight they're playing the San Antonio Spurs. The rivalry that we always talked about, San Antonio Spurs. Now, the Spurs, they're going to have to come with it if you're the Rockets. San Antonio Spurs, I'm not going to say they're more seasoned, but they're more together than you are at this point. They got some hell of a ball players over there. Their chemistry's a lot better. They're playing all out every game. The intensity will not be a problem with the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to bring it. Coach Popovich, that's how he coach. He's not going for nothing less. energy will be there and execution on offense, and they will have all their assignments down. If you come out there half-stepping, you're going to get blown out again. This team is going to be waiting on you. They lost the other night, and they want to win in their column to open the season up, and the Houston Rockets have to come out with some fire. They got to be all down about their defense assignments. They got to make sure they're hitting their shots, but the main thing, the energy has to be there. And I don't think that we'll have a problem with their energy being up since they just got blown out. And I'm pretty sure Emi Udoka had a long talk with them, not only at halftime of that ball game, but the practice day, and letting them know we have to get back to what we was doing. Even though it was preseason, we was playing a lot better ball, and we had the energy better than we had on Wednesday night. And you just going to have to bring it. Because they actually went out there and laid an egg against Orlando. Orlando is a team that you should look on your schedule and you say, this game we got to have and we will get. Orlando is a team that you should have beat. Let's just put it out there. Everybody already know that. There's a lot of teams on the schedule now you're going to look at, and you're going to say, well, we're supposed to lose this one, but we can't surprise. Orlando Magic wasn't one of those teams. They wasn't one of those teams. Because I really believed that we were going to get this opener against Orlando. But you know, you don't cover Orlando enough. You haven't watched them last year. You know they're a young group, but you didn't really watch them play throughout last season and starting this season. You know they had young talent, but these guys came out there like they were bullies, like they were more hungrier, like they want to change their season around. Houston didn't play like that, and that's how they got themselves in a big pickle. The Rockets are way too talented to go out there and lay an egg and lose by 30 points. That's just bad energy. Somebody's playing more physical than you, so you kind of just take the punch and lay back and never recover. No, you got to keep up with the good fight. So it was very disappointing to see everybody, even from the starters, everybody on this team pretty much played below their level. Now, I got Şengün on the spotlight. He's the only one created some offense, some consistent offense. Now, like I say, Dylan Brooks had his moments, and Fred VanVleet, the other veterans, they came through with some big shots and played some defense and got some steals and things like that. But it just wasn't enough to maintain it to stay in the game. So Jabari Smith, he had 7 points. We definitely didn't expect that from him, especially the preseason and the summer league he's had. But like I said, this is only one game. We're not going to go too crazy. There was a deer caught in headlights on this game one, and we're expecting better tonight against San Antonio Spurs. Now, if they can bounce back and beat the San Antonio Spurs, where it's by 1 point, half a point, it erases what happened in Orlando. You can make all this up tonight, going in there and playing your butt off against the San Antonio Spurs and coming out with a win. You want to erase Wednesday night's game? Go in there and beat San Antonio. You ain't got to blow them out, just beat them. Show some effort. And they are capable of beating them. So the attempts is what got me. And that's what lets me know that this team was caught in headlights, because they didn't even put up the attempts. It's like people were shying away from scoring or being aggressive, because nobody on the starting lineup really put up the amount of attempts to even try to catch a rhythm. Even if you're off, put up enough to catch a rhythm. They didn't even do that. 3 for 9 was Jabari Smith. He was 0 for 4 from the three-point line. 5 rebounds. I mean, the stat line is just crazy. Just crazy for Jabari Smith. But like I say, we're not going to hold that too much against him. Opening night, get it out of your system, okay? Y'all got hit in the mouth. Y'all got surprised. Maybe y'all didn't think Orlando was going to come with it like that, but you're in the NBA. You got to think every team is going to bring it. And y'all sure didn't bring it. Dylan Brooks, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He had a steal. He was 4 for 6 for the three-point line. He was 5 for 7 from the field. I mean, great shooting percentage. The only thing about it, he didn't shoot enough. And we don't want Dylan Brooks really going out there just putting up 20, 25 shots or hogging a ball or jacking threes. But in a game like that was on Wednesday night, he had free range. We would have gave him the green light, because we were looking for anything at that point. and he was hitting. He was the only thing got it had it going at that point. Hey, go ahead, put him up, and he just didn't shoot enough of it. Şengün, we finally found some offense down low with him, getting him some post play. And you ask me, I don't know why we stopped going to him. Once he started scoring buckets down low, you have to milk that, especially when you came out the way you did and you can't manufacture offense. This is a guy you needed to keep feeding down low. Force them to double team, then have some kickouts. Maybe we got some threes going, even though we can't shoot threes that well or don't have that many shooters. But hey, you're wide open in the league. They possibly could have knocked them down. But they did need to go to the post a lot more than what they did with Şengün early. He had 14 points. He had 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He kind of had an all-around game. But like I said, man, it was just low volume for everybody. If they gave you a little taste, it got taken away without shooting more or not being aggressive on defense, making more things happen than being a one-trick pony, so to speak. So Fred VanVleet, 14 points. I mean, a lot of 14s here. I mean, 14 from VanVleet, 14 for Şengün, 14 from Brooks. I mean, the defense Orlando had out there, them big guys, man, long arms, they bothered Houston bad in this game. And look, I'm not trying to discredit Orlando. I don't want to make it seem like, you know, they Swiss cheese and we're a better team than they are. We should have blew them out instead of the other way around. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is Orlando Magic is a young team. They're a young fighting team trying to position themselves this year, and we are the same. But if you're a Houston Rockets team and you're trying to make the playoffs, at least trying to make a play in, teams like this you have to beat. If not beat, at least go down to the stretch with, not get blown out by 30 from Orlando Magic. Can't happen that way. It just can't happen that way. So Orlando's a good team. You know, they've shown that. They got some defense. They can fight. They got some scores out there that they can go to. But that defense is what stood out. And they just bullied the Rockets on Wednesday night. I mean, straight bullied them. Jalen Green, 10 points. He turned over the ball too many times, and I hope this year he doesn't turn over that much. But with a guy like him in his game, he's going to have turnovers. You have to clean that up. It's going to be a process throughout the year because of the style of play that he plays with. He plays fast. A lot of times he plays reckless, especially when he's driving to the lane. What I know is about Jalen Green, I know he lifted a little weight during the offseason, but he's still thin, he's still lean, and what you notice is when he drives to the hole, that's why I worry about his health a lot, him getting injured. And I want to knock on wood. I don't want to wish nothing on the young man, but his size, he just has to get a little bigger. I'm not talking about like bulky bigger, but if it's wiry, strong, whatever the case may be. But every time he drives to the lane, if you haven't noticed, it don't take much, like a little bump of these guys reaching for the ball. He just go flying all over the place. He hits the ground too much. They easily can knock him off his route. It just seems like when he drives to the hole, he's just flaring. It's almost like he got shot by a gun or something like that, but just a little bit of contact throws him off his route. So he got to learn how to be stronger with the ball, not get bumped off so easy. So it's very critical to get Jalen Green involved in the offense very early in a lot of these ball games, because if you don't give him that confidence, it could sway. It could sway on you. You know, he can have some bad shooting nights. I mean, he was 2 for 10 Wednesday night, and it didn't look good for him. I mean, he had some good looks. They just didn't drop. A lot of things he forced, like I say, driving to the hole when he don't have that crack to slip through. He just goes into 2 or 3 bodies, and he just try to throw up some wild shots, end up on the ground, no call. He's going to have to work on that, because those are turnovers. Those are bad shots. It puts your defense at risk in transition. So he's got to work on that. He really does in his strength. Continue to hit those weights. If I was him, I'd hit weights probably after every game, a little bit before game. You don't want to swell or tear your muscles. I'm not talking about that type of lifting, but, you know, just work on yourself and just get stronger and stronger every day, every week. Because you're going to take contact. You're not a big guy. You know, I think you're around, 6'4", 6'3", so you're not a big guard. So these guys are going to try to handle you a little bit. They know you're up and coming, trying to be an all-star or a star. Hey, they're going to take it as a challenge when they go up against you. They know you're a high flyer. They're going to try to get you grounded before you get to the air. So Jalen Green, man, he's got to be more precise this year. And like I say, I'm just going to trash this one up, this box sheet, and throw it away. We're just going to mark it up to spotlight. Got caught into it. Opener, first game. And y'all got caught off guard and got hit in the mouth and didn't expect this from the Orlando Magic. That's the only way you can look at this. It's the only way you can look at it. Jeff Green came in, the old Wally veteran. He just looks like he's done it before. He's been there before, and he has. He got a championship. He played with Denver. He's a Wally veteran, and you can tell that by the game speed that he plays with. He's not too fast. He's not too slow. He's just real steady. And he have a wide open shot. He's going to knock it down. He have a drive. He's going to take the drive. Pretty basic with Green, but he's going to be paying big dividends with this ball club. He just had 4 points with the minutes that he had. He was 2 for 4 from the field. Missed a 3 rebounds, and he had 1 assist. So nothing to really go on with Green, but he's going to pay dividends this year with the young guys. So no fault there. We're not going to really worry about that too much with Amen Thompson. He's a rookie. He's going to get it. He's going to get the speed. But you can tell he has some jitters. He's not going to admit that because he's a competitor. Nobody wants to admit you had jitters in your opening game in the NBA. So he's not going to admit that. But he was playing a little fast. He was a little unsure on certain spots. He was getting that on the floor. He's got bumped off his route, losing the ball. He got it poked a few times. It was just those welcome to the NBA moments from a rookie. Nothing to worry about. This guy will be a star in due time. But I like it. He's got a lot of minutes. I didn't expect him to play as much as he did, but I'm glad he played as much as he did. And obviously with Tari Eason out, you know, a lot of guys are going to start bumping up and getting more minutes than they usually get. But he had 21 minutes. And like he had a boatload of minutes. But if you ask me, you want to play this guy as much as possible. Any opportunity you have to get him on the floor to get him more experience each game, it's a plus. Let him go through his mistakes. Let him go through his little woes. Because this guy is going to benefit in the end from it. I guarantee you. Because you can tell he's a competitor. He's a little quiet guy, but he does have some fireness to him. And the more he gets comfortable and get more experience, you might see him start yelling a little bit, getting excited, being comfortable in his movement and how he's playing defense. He's going to be a treat to watch in a couple of years. We want it fast, though. We want to say in 1 or 2 months if we can. But we'll see how fast he comes along. And Cam Whitmore, it seemed like he wasn't going to get in the game at all. But when you have a bad showing like you had, the whole team, you're going to try anything. Especially the way he played in Summer League and some of these preseason games. You're going to push him out there and say, okay, show me what you got. You know, he didn't show flashes of what he done in the preseason. He didn't show flashes of what he did in the Summer League. But he got him some minutes. He put up some shots. And they threw him in on the back end when you're trying to play catch up, and it's almost garbage time anyway. So he didn't really get no real good sets called for him. I think in this San Antonio game, his number might get called a little quicker. He can make some things happen. Hopefully so. But like I say, you could trash this whole box sheet. I mean, these numbers are just terrible pretty much from everybody because it was just a small sample size of everything they had to offer. And some of it was bad, some of it was decent. They tried to keep the dam from flowing over too much. But overall, this is just a bad output for the Houston Rockets. I mean, losing by 30 in Orlando to a team is, I mean, you're not playing the Lakers. You're not playing Denver Nuggets. You're not playing Milwaukee Bucks. You're not playing the Clippers. You're not playing the Suns. Those teams you expect to lose by 30, not the Orlando Magic. And that just tells you that the effort and the energy wasn't there. That's the only way you lose a ball game by that much to Orlando or any team really is just not coming with the energy, not coming with the fire. So that was disappointing to watch that because everybody was up. You're always up for game 1 of the season. Anybody who's rooting for any team, when your team is playing in this opening season, you got a lot of hopes coming in, trying to get to the playoffs, trying to win championships, and you're looking for that great output, and when you don't see it and when you drop the ball, it's tough. It's tough. But the good thing about it is still early. You can easily scrap this and go to the next game. Be glad you got another game to try to clean this stuff up. But Wembanyama, as you've seen on Wednesday night, he's polished. And this guy's coming along a lot faster than people expected, especially on the defensive end. This guy's to be reckoned with. You can see it from a mile away. He's with a great franchise. We already said it. Wembanyama, he's shooting the ball, hitting the three, playing defense, running the floor. He's just showing you little flashes of greatness every time he hits the floor. And year 1, year 2, year 3. Man, it's going to be scary watching this guy. And like I said, it's a rival game, and Houston has to come to play it. You don't want to get behind the 8 ball with the San Antonio Spurs. You want to try to win those rivalries. You want to try to be the best in Texas. You know, it's going to be a tough out to do that. But if y'all come to play and you bring the maturity about you and you bring that dog about you, when you play these games, understand the rivalry that you have. Understand the hate that you have for these teams when they come in your building and when you go in their building, that you want to beat them. When you play San Antonio, when you play Dallas, you want to beat these teams. Those are games you must get up for. If you don't get up for any games, you have to get up for those. So don't let San Antonio start willing their way into being a better ball club than y'all are. The talent level is pretty much the same. Wembanyama standing up there at 7'4". He could be the X factor. You know what I mean? But they're still beatable. Don't allow these teams to bully you. That's all we're saying. Houston Rockets need to hit the floor with intensity every time, looking to push people around and let them know they've been in a dogfight when they're in our arena or when we're going to theirs. Because if you play that way, you're going to stay in a lot of ball games. You're going to win a lot of ball games. Force them to make mistakes. Get up into people. Make it uncomfortable for them to make jump shots. Make it uncomfortable for them when they're driving. Make it uncomfortable for them when they just have the ball in general. Great things happen when you're doing that. So take these rivalries very seriously. That's all I'm saying. Take them very seriously. And not only that, take every game seriously when it comes down to it, because you can't afford it. The effort has to be there. So we're going to scrap this one. Lord knows I want to scrap it. We're going to scrap this one. Like I say, we don't mind losing, but losing like this, it's not acceptable. Not acceptable. When you lose like this, you better go down with your guns blazing. You hear me? And what we always say, empty the clip. That's when you're able to lose a ball game, when you done empty the clip and you ain't got nothing else to load up. Nothing else. So let's go down here and check out Orlando Magic, right? Bonchero, great young man. He's going to have a hell of a future in the NBA. He had a small dose as well, 12 points. You know, he got 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Got to the free throw line, 6 for 7, 3 for 5. That just shows you how talented this ball club is, because he's pretty much looked at as the star, so to speak. And he had 12 points, and he didn't have a high volume of shots. Now, the other guy I got here that's spotlighted on the box sheet, Franz Wagner, he was a thorn in Houston's behind early and fast. They didn't get to him. They didn't glue themselves to him. He got free, wiggled loose for a lot of threes. He was knocking down. He was feeling himself. And that's where it all started, to be honest with you. Once this guy got off and started hitting his threes and the physicality of defense that they were bringing to the Rockets, they couldn't recover from it. They couldn't recover from it. And a guy like Wagner, I don't know if they had him on a scouting report. I didn't know too much about it myself. I don't watch the Orlando Magic. I don't know the players that they're getting over there unless they're, high quality players you hear about. But all these guys that's running around, role players or guys that projected to be good, don't know too much about them. The Orlando Magic, they're not on any primetime games. You have to go to their local stations if you want to watch them. They got some young guys that are hungry, and they're going to play. They're going to play. They're not going to be lacking energy. A lot of these teams in the league are not going to be lacking energy. There's only a certain amount of teams that's going to come out there lackluster, already know that their season is already gone, so they just want to go out there, make their paycheck, and just act like they're playing some basketball and try to hustle on a few plays. They're not really trying to go all out. It's sad to say, but you do have some teams and players out there that are not going to give it 110% every night. And Houston Rockets, we don't want to be one of those teams or players, and we're not. So Wagner was a thorn in our behind. 19 points by him, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 for 7 from 3, 5 for 12. I'm surprised he didn't shoot as much. But if you look at this, man, it was low volume. Nobody had, 18, 20 shots in this ball game, seemed like. This is just a battered and bruised defensive fight that everybody shared the rock, but nobody was really hitting like that. It spread around one guy just hoisting shots. But you had a collective of people who just wasn't hitting. And the ones that was hitting, they didn't get enough of it. So it was just one of those quirky, crazy games. Fultz, he had 10 points. I didn't want to skip Carter Jr. He had 8. The big man in the middle. Full of energy, athletic guy. 8 rebounds. They don't really look for offense from him. Just energy, rebounding, blocking shots, so have you. But Şengün was still having his way, in the paint. Even though that guy was there, we just didn't give him the ball enough. Marquez Fultz, he's trying to revamp his career and come back. A lot of things going on about him early in his career. Looked like he might have shook all that loose. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. 5 for 9 from the field. Suggs, 8 points. He had 4 rebounds. He's a nice guy, good player. He was a little off on his shot though. And Isaac, what a game. He's been injured a lot, but he was a hell of a talent. Got some good defense, block shots, can handle the ball a little bit, and he can hit that 3. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 6 from the field, and 1 for 3. 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. I'm sorry. Who else we got? Oh yeah, Anthony. My goodness, I should have put him on a spotlight as well, right with Wagner, because he was a thorn in the Rockets behind. He had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He was getting wherever he wanted to get on the floor. Wherever he wanted to go, he was getting there. Fred VanVleet was playing him okay. He was trying to, bulldog him a little bit, but Anthony's a bulldog too. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he gave Fred the business in this game. There ain't no knock on Fred, you know what I'm saying? Anthony's not no chopped liver. Just a little bulldog of a player too. Greg Anthony's son, as you know. The guy got some game. Little bulldog, man. And he was getting up into Fred a little bit as well on defense. But I say Fred had a good game. Fred had a good game. He hit some threes. He was trying to command and calm us down, settle it so they wouldn't run off on us and make it too crazy at some points in the game. It just wasn't enough. The storm was too loud. It was too big. And we got caught in a swirl. But Anthony, he's something special. Little guy like that had 8 rebounds. He just gets in the mix. Joe Ingles, he didn't score, but he's an old veteran guy. And what about Black? Rookie, coming in, Supposed to be a defender. He had 5 points. I think we had a little challenge play with him actually on a block. Thought he might have fouled a guy, but they looked at it and say, hey, it was clean. So he's a little cocky guy with a little swag. You know, you got to like players like that. But young guy in the league, he keeps working hard. He's going to be something special. But you can tell he's a little mild guy, but he got a little swag to him. You got to love that. But overall, man, these Houston Rockets, man, like I say, tonight, you have to put it out there. No doubt about it. You have to bring it against the San Antonio Spurs. You can erase all this if you bring it against these San Antonio Spurs. No doubt about it. It's going to be a big game tonight. You playing your rivalry. Wembanyama, he's a guy who wants to win ball games. They lost the other night, just like y'all did. He wants to get in the win column. So you know he's going to bring it. They might even give him the ball a little more than they did in that first game. So you got to be ready. You got to bring the intensity. Because those guards they got over there in San Antonio, they're bulldogs, and they play with a lot of intensity. You want to be ready for that. Bottom line, Rockets, you can't afford it. You laid an egg on Wednesday night. You have an opportunity to make that up Friday night. Erase everything that happened on Wednesday by winning this game. I don't care what fashion you win it in, you're just going to have to win it. Effort has to be there. Rival game, spotlight's going to be on. It's not going to be on prime time because it's the Rockets in San Antonio. Now, if San Antonio is playing somebody else, yes, it will be on prime time. But since they're playing the Rockets, in-house, Texas teams playing, you got to find it locally. And that's okay too. Because you got to win ball games. You got to show people some stuff when you want to get on prime time. And knocking down Wembanyama in a good fashion, like to put you on the billboards a little bit. Just take it serious. We can't afford it. Get on that win column and go forward with the ball game. So that's going to be it. Y'all enjoy this. This is a big Freaky Friday. I haven't forgot. NBA season is here. NFL halfway mark. Gonna start knocking. Oh yeah, another thing. This don't have anything to do with basketball. But Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman doing his job again, picking up Bird, safety. We love it. We're still adding pieces to this team, especially on the defensive end. We got to keep on punching the clock. We throwing all our marbles in this year. We already know what it is. So Howie Roseman, you just keep on playing that chess game, picking up pieces. We're going to be fine. Because we're leaning heavy on that defense this year, which we do every year. I know I keep on repeating myself. I know. But the Super Bowl lost on the defensive end. I think Howie Roseman is looking at that and he's saying, nah. If we lose this ball game, it won't be from the defensive end. That's for sure. So big pickup by Howie Roseman. We still adding pieces. Got Julio Jones now. We're going to try to get him acclimated slowly but surely. He will play a big part in what we do. Houston Rockets tonight against San Antonio Spurs. Go in and be ready. This is Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. Thanks for y'all time. Enjoy y'all big Freaky Friday. And we out of here. Peace.